Wrestling is life. Wrestling is life. Wrestling is life is wrestling.
Welcome, everyone, to Wrestling is Life is Wrestling with Cody Deaner. I am Cody Deaner, and I am a professional wrestler. I'm a professional wrestling producer with TNA Wrestling. I'm a professional motivational speaker, and I'm a professional dad. I'm a father of 4 awesome kids and a husband to 1 beautiful, amazing wife, and this is my podcast. This is a show where we explore how wrestling imitates life and life imitates wrestling, and all the lessons that we can learn in between. Before we get to today's episode, please visit our sponsors, Rest When Dead Clothing at restwhendead.ca and ceofit.ca for all your fitness and supplement needs. You can also support the show by taking a screenshot right now and tagging at Cody Deaner on your socials. So let's get to it. Enjoy the show. The pop at the finish matters most. I am here with a good friend, accomplished professional wrestler, Tyler Tirva, who has been on the show in the past in my previous iteration of the show. You can go back and listen to part 1 and part 2 with Tyler Tirva back in the archives. But today we're going to talk about how the pop at the finish matters most. And normally I let my guests decide which theme that they're going to talk about, but I'm making you talk about this one because I thought of Tyler Tirva. This, when I look at my list, I think of you for this, and I don't even know why other than probably the loudest pop of every one of your matches is always the finish, and that is an art form into itself. And maybe that's why I'm thinking of you, and I know you're working towards that. But let's just start with, what does this mean to you, and why is this an important theme, and see where this goes.
Okay. Well, first off, thank you for that compliment, because when I was looking through the list, I was like, oh my God, there's so many good ones. But like, yeah, the pop of the finish is everything that we work for. So actually, while you were introducing that, I was already getting goosebumps because I'm remembering so many finishes that we've had and so many moments, because as a wrestler, I think the main piece is we learn to keep making that pop higher over time, but it takes you a really, really long time to get a true finish type of pop.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Like,
it does to me. I don't know if our listeners understand, but keep going, man, because I'm also kind of getting the goosebumps, because you're right. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, like so when I think of a finish, I can think like I see my wrestling career in 3 separate stages. And so early on in my wrestling career, I did a running Death Valley driver, which was the same finish that my wrestling trainer, Danger Boy Derek Wild, did.
Right.
And at the time, that for sure was a move. That was the biggest thing that I did. And I learned many variations of cool ways to get into it, which would always lead to, oh, this one was better than the last 2 that I did. And so I learned that my finish in just that one maneuver could have so many stories based on who I'm wrestling, like of how that can build.
Got it.
And so I learned over time, like as you start to wrestle someone more than once, still in this first 5-year phase, that I've already wrestled them and this crowd has seen this finish this way. So I need to now do something even better.
Yep.
But I still can never make something, like everything has to build to the pop of the finish. So I can't do a move a few minutes before the crowd gets even higher on, knowing like my finish has to be the highest point. So I guess the main gist of the pop of the finish matters most is everything you lead to, that has to be the highest, or it wasn't the finish.
Yes. And I think you and I, as we watch wrestling or have discussions on the road, like I know there's been moments where we've either talked about a match or we're in a group chat where we're like looking at something and realizing this is ridiculous. Usually when we kind of critique something that's, I'm going to say modern wrestling for lack of a better term, like some of this newer stuff, one of the main issues is we watch something and they do something crazy. And the problem isn't, oh, they did something crazy, they shouldn't be doing that. Often the critique is they did something crazy and it wasn't the finish.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It was like,
Yeah.
so what are they building towards? They're not actually building towards anything. They're just creating a GIF rather than a moment. They're just creating a GIF that might get some attention and comments on it, but then it's going to get forgotten in 2 hours after it goes viral, right? So the issue isn't, hey, you're doing something dangerous or you're doing something crazy. No, the issue is that was the biggest pop of your match, and then the rest just went down rather than what you said, build. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right. And there's like, when I hear you say all that, I can think of like immediately like 3 different ways of how, like, of course there's more than that, but 3 like simple ways of how finishes can go. So a lot of times in modern wrestling, I find guys will hit, it's like thing, and then it's something out of nowhere as one style of finish. And that thing out of nowhere typically could be their highest point. And then they can't come back from it. They end up with 2 minutes of stuff after. And that's when we go, oh, that was the finish.
Yes.
And it's because out of nowhere is one version.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then like after that, it's okay, well then that was their highest point. So then it's like they just slipped on the banana peel and then, oh, now the finish came out of nowhere. So they didn't get it high enough.
Yes. Now I'm interested to hear what these other 2 phases are that you consider of your career, because you had this first phase of this Death by Driver and you're kind of just talking about in and out of moves and how that could be interesting. Like what's the other levels or other phases that you learned?
Okay.
Or you consider for your career?
Yeah. So a lot of times, so in that front 5 years, I probably only did like a handful of main events. So I didn't really understand the art of the false finish that leads to the build of the finish. But so in that middle section, the middle section is when I started doing more main events. And in that middle section is where that's when I added, I did a variation of a super kick at first, like where it looks like a Street Fighter type of super kick where I'm just flying through midair and my body.
I know, I'm taking it.
Horizontal. Yeah. And I might as well have called it Murder, She Wrote, because it wasn't the safest thing in there.
I also know that because I also took it. Yes, got it.
Yeah, either the CTE or Murder, She Wrote.
Murder, She Wrote, I like that.
Yeah.
That's great.
And so in that phase, that's how I learned the out of nowhere, because that I could throw from anywhere. I could throw from any move. I could throw from anyone on any size. So the beauty is I learned that like, no matter what came before, you won't beat what I do, because the way I throw it and the way it looks and the way it sounds and how impactful it is, like it can't be trumped because I can put it wherever. And so that middle phase gave me another tool, because I could now take my first finish in the first 5 years and use that as like a false finish with cool ways in with that move. People have seen this move everywhere that I go. So now they think that was it, but then now I have this new tool of boom out of nowhere. So that was a way of how I added a tool to the toolbox, and also have a new alternative that kept me fresher, because I had this finish that now is pretty exclamation mark of like, this is it.
Okay. Now what's phase 3?
So then phase 3 is when it actually, with phase 3, I added the hand. So I did a handstand. So in the corner, I do a handstand splash. So sometimes I would use that as an alternative finish.
Okay.
So the third phase is you don't know which one it's going to be.
Ah.
because I've got more tools now, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. But when it happens, they all work as an absolute because I learned how to use more false finishes and build up this ramp story that it now got it. And sometimes you hit, depending on the guy, sometimes it takes hitting multiple of these without them kicking out, and then that's your absolute finish, which is a little more modern-esque.
Yes.
When you put those layers of, like, it might be a super kick and it's a super kick, but the guy doesn't go down, so it spins him around. You super kick him again, he takes a knee, you do a third one, now he's all the way out. Like, it's that full, like, moment of, like, everything. Oh, it finally happened. Oh, and there it is. Like, it's like, it makes sense because that was a full finish.
So as you're talking, I started to think and realize, because you've got all these variations, I think maybe it's the third phase, and the way you described it is making me think of this, is the pop at the finish matters most. However, we're not just talking about the volume of the pop, because the pops are different, right? The pop might actually be, because the babyface isn't always winning, right? So the pop might be like this pop of disappointment, or a pop of surprise, or a pop of disbelief. Like, it might not actually be the loudest pop, but because you're working towards a feeling, right? So we've had matches before, right? You do the suplex into the small package, and it's like, that wasn't the loudest reaction of the match, but it was the right pop for the right moment. And there's a big difference there.
Yes. And that's a large gap for a lot of people, because a lot of people don't know how to create either of those, let alone both of those.
Interesting. So how does this apply to your life? Right? Like, this is like every single wrestling lesson is also a life lesson. So is there something that comes to mind in your life where you're like, no, the pop at the finish matters most, and this is how you can apply it to your life in some way?
Man, this can be therapeutic. I felt all of that one because I was like, oh shit. I was like, how does this relate? But it was simple. The best finishes of a match aren't because of what was at the end. It's all about how we got there.
I wasn't expecting you to say that. And that's hitting me too. That's interesting.
The journey of everything that we do. We all think the end point is going to solve everything. And it could solve that I won the championship belt in a match, but getting to your end point doesn't make you. If someone say they want to be rich, that end point doesn't make them rich. It's everything along the way, and who they met and who they helped up, and every interaction that we had, every way that we made fans feel. It's like, as a baby face. So I've taken, in this phase of my career, I call it my baby face phase, because I was such a heel from my middle phase, which made me, I think, it's taught me so many more tools as a baby face.
Absolutely.
But as a heel, so along the way, in the middle part, I got to feel differently along the way. So losing as a heel only gets you certain interactions at the merchandise table, where a lot of people want to come up and laugh in your face, but you always get 2 to 3 absolute genuine one-on-one conversations with people that respect the way you move, respect how over the top you were, how entertaining you were, and how they couldn't take their eyes off you from start to finish, of you through the curtain back through, even though you lost and you're selling the move that you took.
Yeah.
And in that phase, I really learned the value of my interactions with fans.
Interesting.
And it helped me because I didn't get to, I might have not won as much. So you're not getting the pop that the babyface got.
Yeah.
You're not getting that love and admiration the whole way through. The time, so when you're standing over your babyface, you're getting every emotion that you want because you're standing there and you're dropped in, and just being that alive, and 500, 600, whatever, all those eyes are on you because in that moment you've worked to stand over your babyface. And that's the time that I've always felt as a heel I get to be most alive because I control everyone in that moment. The ref, I control the babyface, I control every single person looking around me. And as a heel, that's your everything. And that is going to set you up to get your biggest pop towards your finish. And so in this, I guess like what I'm getting to is in this last phase, I got to learn all those tools and all those things I had to learn to interact with those few people that did admire who I was and what I was presenting. That now in this phase, being a baby face is so much easier because now I'm getting that love and admiration from all those years of learning all those other skills that could make me a better baby face. And
Yes.
now I just get a greater volume of people and interaction and great conversations and great insight into all these people's lives and moments that we got to share together.
Yes. I find it so interesting that because normally in life, it's better to be a babyface than a heel. Right. But
absolutely.
Right. However, the pop of the finish matters most. And you brought up the fact that you're going to get that pop at the end. In life, what matters is how you got to that end. And all the work you put in, and it's about the journey, not the destination. I find it so interesting that you actually learn to work for that pop as a heel, the way you're describing it. But the cool thing is, I'm just thinking out loud, and I'm learning this as I'm talking, which is so cool. You said as a heel that you're not getting the pop, the baby faces, and you're working towards the pop for somebody else. As the heel, you're putting all this work in. It's selfless rather than like you're doing it for this other person so that they get all the admiration. However, you're the beat up heel that lost, lying on the mat, smiling because you're like, yep, it's your pop too. You're not getting the admiration, but you know in your heart, and anybody that really knows the business is that you got that pop too. It's such a cool life lesson in that we can't. What really matters in life isn't the selfish things. It's what you're giving to others and what you are giving the world and what you're giving life for others.
Yeah.
So it's like it's better to be a heel, a pro wrestling heel in life, but in the weird way that you're actually being a babyface, because right? Because the wrestling heel is actually more giving. Right, but it's just because it's that weird dynamic of wrestling. But that's cool that you're not working for yourself in the end. You're working towards a bigger goal, and it's a selfless goal, and that's how you can get a bigger pop in the end.
And to add to that is those nights as the heel, if you're in there with a baby face that isn't as good, you're teaching him how to get this pop. All by you working yourself mainly. So I'm controlling everything. I'm that navigator. Like I said, I'm standing over you. I'm creating this because they're gonna hate me so much that finally when you start coming back and start fighting back, like it's easy because I did all the work beforehand. But if I didn't get you that work, your pop's gonna be garbage.
That's right.
And then, laying there, you're looking up at the lights, everything hurts because you've made this guy look so good for the last 20 to 25 minutes. But you're laughing because you're like, wow, I'm a fucking magician. Like that's the high that as the heel that you chase. And then it's tough though to snap out of it and go, yes, you did a really good job tonight to the babyface, because they might not have had to because you were so on. And getting goosebumps.
Yeah, dude, this could easily be a 2-hour podcast. We'll end it here.
Cool.
You brought up some ideas that I wasn't expecting to come up in this, and gave
me too.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate you talking to me, and I think somebody out there, both wrestler and non, got something out of this. So thanks, brother. Appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. That was fun.
That's going to do it for another episode of Wrestling is Life is Wrestling. Until next time, guys, please visit our sponsors, Rest When Dead Clothing at restwhendead.ca, as well as ceofit.ca for all your fitness and fitness supplement needs. Don't forget to take a screenshot of today's episode and tag me at Cody Deaner. If you want to learn how to book me on your wrestling show or your speaking event, you can go to codydeaner.com or learn about my speaking career at chrisgrayspeaks.com. Until next time, guys, don't forget that wrestling is life, is wrestling. We'll see you next time, guys.
Wrestling is life. Wrestling is life. Wrestling is life, is wrestling.